One day, Tom decided to leave home to be a pirate. He did not want to go back home. He felt lonely and alone in the world. Even though he was kind to others, nobody seemed to love him. Nobody seemed to want him. He walked far away from the village. Tom's mind was made up. He would run away from home and live a life of crime. He would become a pirate. He heard the school bell ringing in the distance. He didn't care, for he would never go to school again, never see Becky again, and never go back home. He began to cry. Just then, he met one of his best friends, Joe Harper. Tom said to Joe, "I am running away from home. I may not see you anymore." At that moment, he saw that Joe was crying too. "What's wrong, Joe?" Tom asked. "I am leaving home," Joe said. "Nobody wants me there. My mother beat me because she said I ate some honey, but I didn't." Joe dried his eyes and said, "I don't want to live in a world where no one loves me. I would rather die. I will eat nothing from now on and die alone in the forest. Then my mother will be very sorry." After listening to Joe, Tom said, "I am running away from home too. Why don't you come with me? I'm going to be the most famous pirate in the whole world. Tom Sawyer, the pirate." Tom kept talking. "I will return famous. I will start my journey tomorrow morning." Joe thought for a while and then said, "Being rich and famous is better than starving to death." 3 miles south of the village, there was an island on the Mississippi River. It was long and narrow and covered with trees. Nobody lived there. Tom knew of an old boat they could take to the island. They would begin their lives as pirates there. On the way to the boat, they met Huckleberry Finn and told him what they were doing. He joined them too. "But we should bring some food with us," he said, "and it's better to go at night when no one can see us." The 3 boys talked about what each of them would bring to the island and agreed to meet at the boat at midnight. Tom gave all of them pirate names from one of his favorite books. Joe would be the destroyer of the seas. Huck would be Finn, the red-handed, and Tom would be the black pirate. Then the 3 pirates went home to bring supplies. Joe had brought some meat and corn, and Huck brought some tobacco. Tom and Joe had not smoked before, but as pirates they needed to learn. Nobody brought matches to make a fire to cook with, so Huck led them to a riverboat where they took some hot coals from a fire burning there. They knew there were no men on the boat because all of the men were in the village drinking beer. However, the boys moved very quietly and carefully as they stole the hot coals. Pirates must be pirates. They found the old boat, and with Tom as captain of their ship, they left the shore and were soon in the middle of the Mississippi River. They passed the village. Only 2 or 3 lights showed where it was. Tom stood in the boat looking for the last time at his home. If only Aunt Polly could see him now, she would be proud of him, facing the fearful future alone. Huck made a pipe and filled it with tobacco. Soon he was blowing out a cloud of smoke. Huck puffed on his pipe and said, "So what's it like to be a pirate? What do they do?" "Oh," Tom said, "they have lots of fun. They chase other ships and catch them. They take the money from ships and bury it deep in the ground on their island. Then they burn the ship and kill all the people on it." "Except the women," Joe said. "They don't kill the women." "No," Tom said. "They bring the women to their island, and the women are always beautiful." "Pirates' clothes are beautiful too," Joe said. "They're covered with gold and silver." and their boots have diamonds on them." Huck looked at his clothes. They were old, dirty, and torn. They were 3 sizes too big for him. He wore no shoes. "I guess I don't look like a pirate," he said, "but these are all the clothes I have." Tom and Joe told him he would get fine clothes later, after they began their adventures and became rich. The boys became sleepy. Huck fell asleep quickly, but Tom and Joe were awake for a long time. They began to think about what they had done. Was it wrong to run away from home? Were their families worried about them? Was it wrong to steal things from their families? Lying on the ground in the stillness of the night, they decided to say their prayers. They promised they would never steal from people they knew,